Alrighty, everybody. We are here with the Canadian Materia Cup at Red Dragon Games Cards and Comics. A huge thanks to Mike Byrne and Ready Check Raideo. Go follow them on Twitch. I'll have a full link to them in the description down below. And also huge thanks to Hobby Japan and Square Enix for allowing me to do commentary for you. This is round one of Swiss. Looks like we are just finishing up the die roll. I missed who won that, unfortunately, but let's go ahead and get right into it. That looks like some green cards on the left from Keith there. Some wind, perhaps? And I don't know what Mike is on. We're going for a mulligan. No, that's Earth. Sorry, I see an Epitaph on the left, so probably some kind of a mono Earth build. And then on the right, we have, it looks like that's going to be the 4-color Final Fantasy X builds. Really cool deck, actually. Pretty interesting matchup here. We start off ditching a Rydia Eject and a Shantoto for a Rydia. I'm assuming we probably have multiple Shantotos here. And we're getting the old Opus 1 Lene. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I have not played 10-2, but... And the Amaterasu. Actually a really solid set of searches. Did not realize how strong this Lene could be until I actually had it played against me, but even something as reducing the cost of your Mist Dragon in response to an Amaterasu can be kind of backbreaking, honestly. On the Mono Earth side, we have just a good old Vincent played off of a 4-color Warrior of Light. Don't really need that Warrior of Light until we have a couple more backups in play. I do see an Arc and a Chaos in hand, so Keith has kind of everything to punish this kind of multicolor deck from Mike. Looks like a Lulu, a Cullen, the Lene, a Tyro as well. Lots of options. We can go pretty deep on backups if we want to here. Looks like it is going to be the Cullen for the Lene. And we're deciding on the Tyro. We do have a Braska, a Lulu, and Amaterasu in hand. So pretty solid set of cards, honestly. I think we might just hold here and pass. We're trying to decide. Notably, we can cast an Amaterasu if we did need to. But this is going to be a relatively slow matchup. I can't imagine that that's necessarily a likely thing to happen. More so, we probably just want to preserve, Lulu and Braska being such powerful cards. Even though Tyro would be really nice to get down here. Go like Tyro for something like a Bosch if we're on it. So the Mono Earth player here is deliberating. I imagine we're going to see, okay, we're starting off with a Miner. Going to reveal 5, try to hit a backup. There's a Tyro and a Leatherworker. So some options here. And a Shantoto. Can't imagine we'll be on that Shantoto, but that Leatherworker or Tyro should say a lot here. We're going to go for the Tyro. The rise of Tyro has been kind of funny. That card really was starting to kind of slide out of the metagame for a while, but it's really showing up huge recently. This set in particular has really brought it out. I'm trying to decide here if we want to go a little bit deeper. We do have the Chaos and Art kind of gumming up our hand a little bit. We're going to ditch 2. I imagine this will be the Epitaph. Yep, we're going to go search ourselves a copy of Leo, most likely. Leo, another card that really had not seen any play until this set. It's kind of become like this really cool all-star that enables so many diverse lines of play for this deck. We did ditch a Leo for it, so we're running a little lower on those. The cut and pass. And Keith honestly has a really strong setup here. We have the Tyro in hand to go get whatever we want, but if Mike overcommits, we can go right for the Chaos Arc. So we have a Thornton and we have a Tyro. We also have, I believe, that was a Lev 6. So we've got some interesting decisions to make here. Because this is a 4-color deck, I imagine we really want to get that Tyro into play. So we're going to go Rydia, Lulu, deciding on the last one. I imagine it'll be the Lev 6. It's going to be a little bit tough. It's so good against Chaos Art, but also is very expensive, and it looks like we're not on a backup Yuna in this deck. So deciding what the search off of the Tyro should be. I wonder if we're going to go even deeper here. We don't have the ability to get the fourth color online with either a fire or a wind backup. But we could, in theory, jam the Thornton down if we wanted to. Scrolling through, trying to decide what the right card is going to be. We're thinking Warrior of Light. Oh no! Oh, the signature Yuffie. Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. Beautiful card there. Unfortunately, it is kind of gonna just be prey to this Chaos Arc if we can't establish two full forwards with it. And once the Yuffie's on the field, it's gonna be pretty tricky to get her off, other than exactly with Shantoto. There's our Tyro. We're going to go search out any forward we want. We're on the Fusoya as well. Lots of really strong options here. I imagine we just get a 4-color Warrior of Light. Yeah, that will be the choice. The beautiful full art Tyro over there as well. Lots of shiny cardboard so far. So we have 5 in hand, but we've got some pretty strong cards. We've got the Leo Warrior of Light combo for next turn, but if Mike overcommits and doesn't leave up that Amaterasu, we do have the ability to go for that Chaos Arc line to really rip Mike's hand apart. So we draw 2, we got a Cullen, and it looks like another copy of Braska. So this is probably just going to be the Yuffie, I imagine. Yep, there she is. And what a strong card this has ended up being. Kind of funny, really didn't pop when she was first revealed, but kind of over time has become the really dominant, wind card at kind of just being very difficult to deal with. That is going to be the ingots into damage, though. We're going to get to search for any earth forward we want. Lots of really prime options here. I imagine something like an Une could be really solid. Even a Garnet as well. We want to go just like the ability to double arc potentially. Getting Gabranth, that's an interesting one. We're kind of... A little strange thing about that is that we haven't really shown our hand as the Chaos Arc game plan so far. But as soon as you see that Gabranth, something kind of starts stinking a little bit. You start kind of getting that funk of Chaos Arc, and you really know what's up. Kind of wonder if we should have just left that in the deck as the EX burst and kind of just grabbed, the Une or the Garnet or something. I'm going to check the break zone a little bit. We can go into... Notably, Yuffie does struggle quite a bit with Warrior of Light because she does only go to 10k without First Strike. So there's not going to be a way to get her over this Warrior of Light. Could be a really big punish from Keith if we go for that line here. We're deliberating a little bit. We're just going to get to that 5th backup. We're going to put a Miner down. We're going to go ahead and flip 5. That's a Shantoto. So we at least get a card off of this. And it will have to be the Shantoto. This does, I believe, show the Chaos Arc for the first time. So Mike now should know what's up. I don't think the first Miner really showed like a Chaos Arc. And we've still got a lot of cards in hand as well. No breakable backups. We don't have anything like that. We can't go Leo Warrior of Light because we did dull the Miner, and Warrior of Light is going to need only backups to play him. So we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves here. I do wonder if we're going to have to go for the 5-cost Chaos here, which could play into that Amaterasu. Definitely an interesting conundrum. Now, it would kind of still represent Mike discarding 3 cards if he doesn't want to give up his own Yuffie, which is kind of what the arc was going to do anyway. And we do have the Gabranth now to get another copy of it, or just even the Kusith in hand. Really deliberating in the tank here a bit. Just discards 2 to hand size and passes. Says, I see your Yuffie, and I don't need to do anything more. Very interesting. I don't know how much of a fan I am of that. We'll see if it comes back to be an issue for Keith later. Now, granted, Chaos Arc is very okay with playing it slow, and we do now have the Shantoto. So if we wanted to crack like the Vincent here, we could, in theory, do it. Oh, are we going to hardcast the Arc? Nope, no, we're thinking better of it. Yeah, we're just going to take the damage. Yuffie's going to restand. No burst this time. Looks like a Titan to my eye. Damage a little bit off screen, unfortunately. So Mike's got the Yuffie protection online again. We're not going to have that in particular get arced. I'm curious if we have a second Yuffie in hand for the Doom of the Living if we needed to. We're dulling the Linné. Looking at Mike really keeping us suspenseful here by not showing that hand. Looks like we're going to go for a Leo. Thinks better of it. We have 6 in hand, so we probably want to be doing something here, but we're missing that 4th backup still. We're counting the hand, realizing the bad news. We were going to pass there by the looks of it. We kind of looks like we want to keep this Orin to back attack in. Is that an Orin in hand? I think so. But that also is going to cut us off a fire CD potentially for our Amaterasu. I do think we're going to go for the Leo. But this doesn't solve the outstanding issue. We're still going to have too many cards in hand by the end of this. Flipping up the Zach. We're going to go ahead and draw ourselves a card. What did we find? We found a Pain. Not a card I expected to see in the list, actually. Really not a very common one at all. You can play it out of the deck with Yuna. We're just going to discard the hand size here. So we're really wanting to back attack in this Orin as opposed to just getting it on the field so we have our 4 colors. And that does, I mean, we know that there's the threat of something Keith's got. And we think it's probably either Amaterasu or it's Chaos Arc. So we're going to drop the Leo here. There's no response window here from Mike. So Keith is just going to get to go right into the Leo Warrior of Light for free. Draw us a card. Now we have a couple of different lines here we can take. We can either go for Chaos Arc or we can try to do the Tidus, but we do know he has the Amaterasu, so I can't imagine Tidus is the right play. That Mist Dragon, though, is looking really juicy, though. Yeah, we're going to go 3, 4. What are we cooking here? Okay, we're going 3. I think we overpaid for that chaos a little bit. Should just be 5, right? Wind, water, earth. So minus 6K should cost 5. We definitely paid a little bit too much there. We're going to go ahead and try to arc the Leo to prevent that from being the donation here. I imagine if you're Mike, you have to just Amaterasu this, right? Amaterasu the steal, so you keep the Yuffie. It's going to be painful, though. We're going to be losing so many cards in hand. We're going to back attack in our Orin, which will give the protection to the Yuffie. I mean, she's already got ability protection. And the Leo's going to die. So, I mean, we have to lose the Yuffie here. Oh, no. Linnea's going to activate. Ooh. And now Mike's in a pretty rough spot. I really think we should have just kind of considered Amaterasuing that, especially with the Linnea discount. Going to take 2 points of damage from the Yuffie and the Warrior of Light, and we're kind of looking at like a Shantoto or bust situation. We do have the Warrior of Light in hand to kind of counter that. That's a start. It's going to let us dig a little bit deeper. And even the Leo here now is a 9K Leo. He's getting kind of big. Big think. Any kind of summon recursion for Keith here. We draw a Garnet, for instance, and this whole thing goes kind of up in flames. But there's a backup Leo in hand even. Ooh, brother. Mike, my friend, you got to find something here. Now, if we don't find the... we did Leo earlier, so we can't Shantoto LB either, which would be a clean answer if we have the 2 Earth cards in hand. We're thinking... Might be a little bit of a Leo. Try to dig into a further thing. We even like a second Zac. I mean, you can go Zac plus Warrior of Light, kill the Chaos. Thinks better of it. But we did flip the one Zac earlier to play the Leo. I wonder if that should have been a Shantoto flipped if we have one. There's the arc, top decked off the top. Mike showing a little bit of frustration there. Even forgets to ping the Chaos on the way out. Discards 2. We're going to eat a bunch of damage here. Hope for those EX bursts. Linnea, a Leo, a Buddy. Warrior of Light. And the Yuffie. And the Yuffie even makes the Warrior of Light annoying because he wasn't going to be able to stick the Warrior of Light anyway. Even if he didn't have the arc, he could have gone, you know, attack Warrior of Light, ping. The Yuffie putting in so much work. And there's the next Warrior of Light. We draw into Amaterasu. I see a Kimari in hand. That's just not going to do it here, I don't think. Signature Yuffie really showing her worth here. Because Keith is representing lethal on board. All he has to do is double ping with Warrior of Light, sack it to the Chaos. So many ways to get this Warrior of Light off the field. And none of them are going to work out for Mike. We have to get this Chaos or this Warrior of Light off the field, or the game is over. Well, there's the Cloud that's going to attempt to pop the Leo. But that's not going to be enough on its own. And Mike really can't even attack with Warrior of Light, because if, you know, Keith offers the trade, he's still dead on board. Let's see if Keith sees the lethal line here, but I think this may be a swift ending to our first round here. Any kind of summon recursion makes this really easy, but even just attack, Warrior of Light, ping, Yuffie, Genova Synthesis, that'll clear the cloud. Unless we have something here. I mean, you got to do something or you're just dead on board, Mike. We're going to take the... And Mike just extends the hand. He sees the writing on the wall. So, that is our feature match for round one. Mono Earth Chaos Arc taking it over the FF10 4-color list. I mean, kind of the expected thing. That's what Chaos Arc is meant to do, is to beat up on these 4-color lists. Once again, huge props to Mike Byrne and the entirety of Ready Check Raideo for sending me the files for this so that I can get you guys that up-to-the-minute coverage of the Final Fantasy trading card game. Stay tuned for round two, and we'll see you all in the next one.